Hello, back in the field, out with my son again. Say hello, Trav. So today we're at Devil's Dyke. We're actually doing a tour of lost places. So we're going to be doing 5 different places that have disappeared, things that used to be there. And today we're starting at Devil's Dyke, and what's lost here is back in the late Victorian era, up until the 1930s, something like that. It was a funfair. It was a huge, great, it was like Disneyland of its day. There were carousel rides, 2 bandstands, obviously a funfair, but there was also a cable car across the dyke itself and a vernacular railway running down the north side of the hill. Okay, we've gone just a bit east of the hotel, which is up there. Amazing views. It's a little bit misty today, but you can probably still see a lot, and I think this could be down here the foundation for the vernacular railway, because they said east of the hotel. We were east of the hotel. There's nowhere else it could obviously be. So be careful here, Trav. And I heard the foundation was left, and look, there's 4 bolts coming out the ground. Wall here, I would say straight down there was where the vernacular railway used to run. So there's the hotel, which was there was a pub, and there's a guy called H.J. Hubbard, I just checked, who bought it in 1892, the site. There was already a development here, but he really built it up. So up there would have been all the amusements and things. There was also a railway that ran up to Devil's Dyke, and that ran for, I believe, up until the 1930s, from about the 1890s. So it was a really, really popular place. It still is fairly popular. Amazing views, but it was really popular back then. As I say, the Disneyland of its day. Our second destination is going to be Fulking Grange Isolation Hospital. So that was up on the Downs. It was a smallpox hospital built for when there were smallpox outbreaks, because they wanted to keep, because it was so contagious, keep it away from Brighton. I think a lot of the contagious stuff used to go to Bevendine Hospital, which is now a housing estate. So we're going to go and have a look at that. But yeah, bye-bye what was Devil's Dyke Funfair and Amusement Park. Wow, it's really busy today. I suppose Sunday morning and a popular destination is bound to be. Right, dead ahead, where you can see the tree sticking up, that is the site of Fulking Grange Isolation Hospital. I believe the land was bought, requisitioned in 1901, and the hospital was opened in 1902. So what they did, the buildings, there was a administration building, which was the old farm building, and then there were 2 blocks of, or 2 wards, which would accommodate 12 patients each. So that was 24, and I believe there was a possibility to have a couple of pop-ups with another 4 each. So it took a few people, and it, as I say, it was built up here because it's isolated, hence Isolation Hospital. And there was no electricity. I think they must have had to generate off batteries, but they did run a telephone line up. And what used to happen is watch the poo truck, the medical staff would come up here from Bevendine or hospitals in Brighton in times of need, so they'd open it whenever there was an outbreak of smallpox. So I don't have an awful lot of other details apart from that. The reason there's not a lot to see, hence it's a lost place, so I'm afraid you won't see lots of amazing things today, is because I believe it was then requisitioned by the army during the war, and I understand that Canadian troops used it for target practice, so they pummeled it. It's barbed wired off, so I can't just I'm not going to climb over into it, but there are a few concrete bits here and there. Just actually spotted a tiny bit of the building over there. There's a bit of concrete, so you've seen a bit of the hospital. So there you go. Right, we've gone a bit further, and I think we are now actually on Edburton Hill, medieval Motte and Bailey. So I'll turn the camera around for you. So here we go. So I think this is the path that runs around it. That's the outer ring, and that is the Bailey. I think the Bailey was the higher bit, so it's like a little castle. I imagine it was wooden. It was built sometime shortly after the Cochrane came over in 1066. We'll have a quick wander up, see what we can find up there. But yeah, not too much to see. Up we go, Trav. So we're going across the top of it. Now apparently, antiquarians, i.e. 19th century amateur archaeologists, thought it was a barrow, which is a ancient Neolithic or Iron Age burial mound, and started digging it when they didn't need to. And it wasn't actually a barrow. It was originally a Motte and Bailey castle. So I'm pretty certain it was here. Right, so I believe we're coming to the lost medieval village of Perching. So it's supposed to be right by this abandoned barn. So a bit about the barn. Apparently it was used as abandoned, used as target practice by the Canadian Army in World War II. So yeah, I read somebody did an excavation here had a metal detector, got permission, and all they found were bullets from where they tried to blow the place up. So what it was, it's sort of here. I'll just do a swing round. So that's where we've come from. That's up on the downs up there. That's Travis. Woo! Yeah, that's mud. It's been pretty good for mud. So it consisted of 8 houses, or 8 buildings, I think, houses. They also found a well, and there was a mill here, and I believe it was a water mill. And it was owned by the same guy that owned a place called Perching Manor, which is not quite round here. Goes back to, I believe it was in the Domesday Book, but at some point the place was abandoned. I would guess it could be something to do with the Black Death in the 1300s, or it just wasn't viable to live in eventually. So if the population was decimated, and it must have been a pretty tough life. It's in the middle of nowhere, surviving. So this is sort of it. They had field strips, which are probably up on the hills behind them, and this whole area would have been the settlement. We'll go a bit further in. Yeah, so we're just going into what would have been the settlement. Oh, out of interest today, you may notice, we may not have done, I've got a different pack on. It's my lightweight through hiking pack. I say through hiking, it's not like I'm doing the Appalachian Trail anytime soon. It's my walk, camp, walk for multiple days backpack, and it's got like my tent, sleeping gear, everything. It feels pretty good, I have to say. Right, Trav, bit muddy, be careful. Just follow through on the top. We haven't met many people. Actually, we've had a last half an hour or so. You okay, Trav? Last half an hour or so. Right, I'm going across to the right, Trav. Follow me. Last half an hour or so, for the 4th time, we've met maybe 3 cyclists and a couple of joggers. And we went through a field of cows, but the cows are quite a long way away. I don't mind cows, just don't spook them. So we're making our way through a muddy path. It's been really good up until now. Okay, so we're sort of just about Thundersbarrow Roman settlement. It's actually a little bit up there, but because of the firing range, it's non-stop. It must be a temporary firing range. There's non-stop cars going up and down. It's tiny little paths. So we're not going to go too far up because there's not a lot to see, if I'm honest. But basically, they know it's a Roman settlement because in 1932 they did some excavations there, and they found coins dating from 50 AD to 400 AD, and I think they found evidence of a Neolithic or Iron Age encampment as well, so it's even older than that. But yeah, so Thundersbarrow Roman settlement, it wouldn't have been called that. And I think there's a load of horses coming down. Whee! Oh my god, hello. Wow, that is a lot of horses. Hi. Wow, I'm glad we weren't walking down that path a minute ago, Trav.
Oh, there's more horses.
I know, it's like an army of horses.
Yeah, and more.
Oh dear, that one's going for Edburton. Wow. Have you ever seen that many horses, Trav?
No, I have not. Oh, and there's more.
Yeah, it is literally like a cavalry army.
How do you feel now having multiple horses?
Oh, I feel horsed out, Trav. How about you?
I don't know. There's 2 cars there.
I know, we'll move over here. They're going to get held up by the horses. This is like a bit busier than I imagined it was going to be, Trav. Right, anyway. Right, so Thundersbarrow, that was it, just up there. I don't know what they'd have called it in Roman times.
Oh, another car came.
And there's another car coming, and we've got to walk down there. We've done Thundersbarrow, so now we've gone round, and we're starting the climb back up to Devil's Dyke. So again, a sort of loopy square. Yeah, we just, after the horses, the cavalry unit, who did come up where we're going, but they're a ways in front, so we're okay. We then saw an army of dog walkers, ramblers stroke dog walkers. Luckily I thought, oh no, we're going to be following them all the way up the hill, but they went straight on towards Shoreham, I suppose. 12:30. Trav is complaining that he wants his lunch, so we're on the lookout for somewhere to stop, because we did say about 12:30, didn't we, Trav? Not too far from Devil's Dyke now, so we've done a lot of the loop. We're on a beautiful open bit of hill. I'll give you a quick tour around. Obviously Trav, hello.
It's raining.
Well, it's spitting a bit, so I'm hoping it's not going to be too bad. So there's hills behind us. Brighton's over that way. Yeah, and then up there is towards Devil's Dyke. Just over there is the Downs. And then back there's Truly Hill. Yeah, I'm hoping it's not going to really rain, because it's a pain getting the raincoats out. Seeing as how we're not too far from being back, it would be a right pain. But it's been really good. And we had a nice lunch. Did you enjoy your lunch, Trav?
Oh, yeah, it was lovely.
It was. It
Very
was.
lovely indeed.
It was a lovely lunch today. So all in all, so far, it's been a lovely walk. Clouds are a bit grey, but fingers crossed. Okay, we are back at Devil's Dyke, back in the car. If I didn't mention it earlier, word of warning, the car park costs £6, which is one of the most expensive ones I've found, so just beware of that. My gear loadout went really well. I think it's about 6 kilos plus the water base weight, and it's brilliant. Didn't feel it at all, but as I say, that's only for warm weather. So we did our 5 little missing places. They're not a lot to see, but at least we went to them. So Trav, what's your verdict?
Quite a good work.
Quite a good walk?
Yes.
I would say pretty good for me, because the weather held off, although it did start drizzling a bit at the end. Aside from that, yeah, I thought it was a really good walk. A nice day. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.